Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Okay, let's take a look at what's happening in April. Well, Sag, let's start with Ceres, which is retrograde right now in your 10th house of career. She started out her this year's retrograde journey in your 11th house of community and has traveled backward into your 10th house of career. Now, Ceres is about the things that connect us to the physical world and sustain us. And that means our physical bodies, the food we put into them, and the money we make to sustain them. And so usually when Ceres goes retrograde, I like to organize my thoughts around financial themes because I think people find this very relatable. So I'm calling this a financial rebalancing period. It began in early February, it finishes in early May, and in the time in between, we have to figure out how to rebalance our finances. And they may really get up in our face. Things may become in something of a tangled mess. Now, because Ceres has traveled backwards into your 10th house, it could be your finances relative to a business that you run or a job that you do. It could be about also showing up as worthy and valuable as an employee at your place of work. And so Ceres retrograde in this house is having you re-examine the value that you bring, the values that you have, like what you do value, and to really take a fine-tooth comb to your financial situation and untangle it. And so this is going to be a pretty big preoccupation until early May. At that point, things may start to untangle themselves and get a little bit more clear. And I'll say more about it next month. Now, Juno is traveling along through the sign of Taurus this month, and she's in your 6th house of work, health, service, and organization. Juno brings relationship themes wherever she goes. And so when Juno is in a given house, bringing the spirit of cooperation, being in a collaborative mood, and being a real partner in that area is really what you should do to take advantage of this transit. So this being the house of work, health, service, and personal organization, you want to bring this partnership feel to this house, especially because in a minute, Julia is going to tell you about Venus in this house. So both of these very partnerly planets are in the 6th house, especially at the beginning of the month. So being a partner will get you a partner, will get you, good relations with any teammates or people that you lead in teams or people that you work with in a collaborative fashion on the job. Another great use of this transit is in your home life, in your personal life, is to organize your life together with your partner. If you're in a long-term relationship, this is a really great transit for developing better systems around the space that you share. Like going into the kitchen together and saying, hey, when it's your night to cook, how do you like the kitchen? How do you want me to leave the kitchen for you? Or going into the garage and saying, hey, could we clean up this stuff together? Really great use of this transit. Juno is going to leave Taurus for Gemini on May 1st. And we'll talk more about that when we get there. There she is in Gemini. But let's go back to April. Hey, Julia, what is up with Venus, Mercury, Venus, and Mars for the Sages of the world?
Lots going on, Sagittarius. Mercury is going to go retrograde this month. Now, we've had a break from great Mercury starts in your 5th house. This house children rules. First couple of days of the month, you might be thinking a lot about your kids, or maybe communicating with them more, or wondering whether you should have kids. It's also a great transit for thinking through your creative projects. By April 3rd, Mercury is your 6th house. This is a totally natural place for Mercury to be in because the 6th house is ruled by Mercury sign Virgo. So this house is all about sort of organization and all the little habits that structure your life. And Mercury is really good at that kind of stuff. So this is a really great time to get all your ducks in a row, keep up, whether it's with your bookkeeping, your Tupperware drawer, anything else in the house that needs organized. And also workplace organization could be really helped by this transit. It's also a good time if you need to learn new things for your job too. Now, by the 21st, Mercury is going to go retrograde, like I mentioned, and this can make everything 6th house get kind of squirrely in your life. So what you could expect are maybe miscommunications at the workplace, having to rethink or re-strategize things around your health. Like maybe you thought you had one diagnosis, but now you think it might be something else, or you started taking a medicine, but realized a different medicine would work better. And all of that organization might get really tested too once Mercury goes retrograde, which will be through sort of mid-May. Now, Venus also starts off in this house for the first 10 days. She brings a little luck, a little harmony, a little pleasure to it. So wonderful month for kind of getting along well with your coworkers, at least at the beginning. You might have miscommunications with them later. Venus in the 6th house takes pleasure from kind of getting organized and having those routines together. Then by the 10th, Venus enters your 7th, her favorite place in the chart to be, because the 7th is your relationship. Venus is the relationship planet. So she's going to be bringing more pleasure, more sort of fun and good times and harmony with your partner. If you guys have been fighting a lot this year, this is a great time to sort of, hire a couples counselor, because it is the 7th house's contractors, and then just really make peace with your partner too. Now, finally, Mars is going to be in the 8th house all month. The 8th house rules your shared resources, investments, loan, mortgages, etc. This might be a time where you get a little frustrated over money. Maybe you thought you'd be getting more from your tax return this year, and like nothing comes back, and you're like, so annoying. It can be a time of flare-ups over money, disagreements over money too. Mars does love to have drive, and the 8th house is a house of investigation and research. So definitely the higher end of this transit is, digging down to the truth of something in your life. You can really make a lot of progress. And this is a very sexual transit. Venus is in your 7th house. You're getting along well with your partner. So that's another positive way that this transit can shake out for you.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Jamie here. Before we continue, I just want to take a quick moment to thank you for watching this video. And if you're enjoying this content, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Our lowest tier starts at just $5 a month and gives you early access to these monthly horoscope readings. Your support helps keep this content free. The link can be found in the description box below. Thanks again, and let's get back to the video. So let me tell you about the moons that are going on this month. On April 5th, we have a full moon in Libra right here. And the moon in Libra just brings so much diplomacy and tact. It's just such a friendly atmosphere when the moon is in Libra. And this falls in your 11th house, which definitely might pull you out into some group events, hanging out with friends, with community, and just really bringing that nurturing quality of the moon into those spaces. But I do want to warn you that opposite to the moon, and definitely baked right into the feel of this moon, are 3 very rambunctious placements in Aries over here. Sun, Chiron, and Jupiter are very willful, very driven, kind of rowdy, really. And so we're calling this moon Make Every Action Wholesome. And that's because Chiron likes to heal things. And yet Jupiter and the sun are just so rowdy that this might be characterized by behaviors and words that are not very well thought out, shall we say, and then the moon has to corral these impulsive planets and try to put things into a sweeter and more relatable light. So watch out for that. And then the other moon I want to tell you about is happening on the 19th, and that is a solar eclipse. Actually, it's not just any new moon, it's a solar eclipse, and it lands here in your 5th house, and it is in Aries. Now we're calling this one volcanic actions tempered by sympathy. And that's partially because it's an eclipse and it's just got so much willfulness and drive baked right into it because of that, Aries nature. And all the stress that's involved with this moon too, like it's square to Pluto, square to Pallas Athena, and the way that it lands in your 5th house might just really bring up some ego-based shadow material in you. When I use a phrase like that, shadow material, I'm talking Jungian archetypal psychology talk there. Our shadow is that which we really don't like to look at. We prefer to remain unconscious of it. And a solar eclipse is a time when our behavior can be driven by unconscious shadow material that we just didn't even know was there, and we suddenly find ourselves behaving badly. So watch out for that under this moon for sure, because it could be public and make you look pretty bad, and we don't want that. Now you can find out so much more about both of these moons on our website, pandoraastrology.com, on the monthly forecast page. The last thing I want to tell you about is the seasonal change, which happens on April 20th. And that's when the sun leaves Aries, where it has been for the early part of the month, and moves on into Taurus right here. And that's your 6th house. And this is just illustrative of how the whole month really is about beginning with this emphasis in your 5th house and moving on into greater and greater emphasis in your 6th house. So at the beginning of the month, this 5th house emphasis puts so much of the theme as playing, having fun, hijinks, and like relaxing and enjoying yourself and hanging out with your kids if you have some. And so it starts out with this very light mood, and then things get a little bit heavier as these planets generally all migrate over into the 6th house, which is the arena of work, health, service, and organization, as we've said before in this horoscope. And so the sun is about attention. It's about where should your high quality attention be right now? And when the sun moves into your 6th house, it's time to take your attention off of fun and put it on to work, and to figure out how your work life can go as well as possible, or how you can be best organized at home in your personal life or at work in your professional life. And so the sun will be in the 6th house for 30 days starting April 20th. It's a really great time to get organized, develop better systems, and just really put that high quality attention on how to have it together in every area conceivable.
If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
We make these horoscopes for you for free, and if you appreciate it, supporting us on Patreon is the best way to show it. Share our horoscopes with your friends too. Have a beautiful April, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.